Hey, how's it going, everybody? Beautiful day here in Halifax. And I don't know why I always mention the weather. It's because I don't have a good intro. Moving on, today I want to talk about something that I've never heard almost anyone in the marketing or copywriting world talk about. And it's really, I think, one of the secret keys to getting really good at writing copy and selling stuff. So I picked this up in a podcast, and the guy was talking about this guy named Joe Schriefer, who is a bigwig up at Agora. And Agora is just one of the biggest direct response marketing companies in the world. Let me just close that. Construction's really loud. Anyway, this active listening, or active reading or active listening is what he called it. What you do is when you're reading a sales letter or you're, let's just keep it at sales letters. Say you're going through and you're reading between the lines to try to find, hey, like, why is he putting this sentence here? Like, what emotion is this paragraph trying to elicit? Like, what kind of proof elements is he putting here? How is like the headline and all the stuff leading into the big idea? Why is he using this lead over another one? Why is he using this headline specifically? What pain points is he trying to touch on? And it's not just about copywriting. It's about learning to become a better communicator in general. So I'll give you a good example of how I used it recently. You can use it to become a better public speaker. Not that I'm going to become an amazing public speaker, but I like to get better. You can do it you can watch movies and kind of actively watch to see why did they use that scene? And anyway, I recently heard a Perry Marshall interview. And Perry Marshall's like the guru of AdWords. He's like an OG in the internet marketing world. Anyway, Perry Marshall told this story, which I found very interesting because I was actively listening. So he said, one of my colleagues, his name's John Paul Mendoza, he dropped out of high school when he was 17 and he moved to Vegas to become a professional gambler. And can you just imagine if your kid did that? His mother was like lighting candles for him in the window every night at mass. Like, she didn't know if he was gonna get killed or whatever, because gambling back in the day, and especially in Vegas, was still controlled by the mob and it was a dangerous place. So John, after a little while, he kind of figured out hey, there are some people here who are making serious money playing poker, and I need to find those guys and I need to learn from them. I want to learn how they're doing it. So he sought a mentor, and he found this guy. I can't remember what his name is, but he found this mentor, and he said, "Hey, man, I'm young. You can see he's young. Obviously, he's 17. He's like, I want to learn to become a great poker player. So he's like, what can you teach me? And he's like, okay, just come with me. I'll show you how to become a great poker player, because at this point he was already pretty good. So they went to a local casino, and this place, it was just packed, and it was loud. They were blasting music. People were drinking, smoking, laughing, probably shooting guns off because it was like the 70s in Vegas. And this mentor of his, he turned to John and he said, John, I'm going to give you the biggest piece of advice. I'll make you the very best gambler, okay? So he said, it's not about being the best player at poker. It's about being better than the people you're playing against. So you don't want to be playing against the professional poker players. You want to be playing against, the fishes. Not you don't want to be playing with the sharks. You want to be playing with the fishes. That's how you're going to make a lot of money. People who are drunk, who just came in from Kansas, and they got, they just want to play and get wasted, but they got some money. So he said, okay, yeah, cool. That makes sense. So how do I find them? And he says, I'm glad you asked. And at that point, they were sitting at a table, and this older mentor reached under the table into his duffel bag, and he takes out a sawed-off shotgun, and he goes, okay, John, watch this. And he opens it, and he racks it, so it goes, and he puts it back under the thing. He didn't lift it up to shoot people, but he just, under the table, he quickly racked it and made that classic sound. And as soon as he did, all the bikers and all the badasses and everyone turned around, even in the middle of this crazy club, which is this super loud. Everyone else kept on drinking. Everybody else was drunk. And, the manager walks over and he goes, excuse me, is everything okay here? Like, what's going on? And the mentor was like, yeah, we're good. I'm just showing the kid a lesson. And the waiter's like, okay. And he takes off. And the mentor turns to John and he goes, okay, John, were you watching when I racked that shotgun? And he's like, yeah. Like, what? He's still confused, right? And he goes, did you see the guys that turned around and heard that noise in the middle of this club? And he goes, yeah, I did. He goes, those are the guys you do not want to play against. Those are the sharks. They're the ones who are like sober, who are just, those are the guys that you want to avoid, okay? Go for the drunk guys. And, Perry Marshall's point was more about marketing, but I found that story particularly interesting, and when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm usually writing or multitasking, doing something else. And so I'm not always paying attention right away. I kind of hear like the key points. But what drew me into that story immediately, it was an interesting story. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a good story. But it was as soon as Perry Marshall's, because I was actually actively listening because I just heard about this topic. And it was as soon as Perry Marshall said, can you imagine if that was your kid going off there? And I was like, or you? And I was like, immediately imagining if that was me just dropping out of high school and moving to Vegas. And that got me emotionally involved and hooked into the story right away. So that's the power of active listening, active reading. I wish more people talked about this. So I could read a book on it, but it's something you got to learn for yourself. So I hope this video really helped. If you like this stuff, I'm actually posting less on my Facebook page. I'm weaning off of it because Mark Zuckerberg is like lowering my reach every day, and I'm moving all my stuff to my blog, my email list. So if you like my stuff, I suggest you go download my my book. It's in my Facebook cover page, or it's in the first link in the comments. You can get it there, or go to benburmedia.com and just derp around, read some cool stuff, and then join the blog. Join the email list if you want. I'm sending cool stuff that I'm not sharing anywhere else. And a lot of them are blatant pitches too, but hey, it's just considered like a free email marketing course. So yeah, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully this video wasn't too long for you. And have a good Thursday. All right, peace.